Welcome to Bathurst on Wiradjuri country in regional New South Wales. Once the first settlement in regional Australia, now a thriving and expanding regional hub of over 45,000 citizens. Bathurst is just 3 hours drive from both Sydney and Canberra, located west of the Blue Mountains. Perhaps best known for world-class motorsports and the iconic Mount Panorama, Bathurst has so much more to offer. The Bathurst region is regarded for its rich cultural heritage, its exemplary historical architecture, its beautiful natural landscapes and delightful public parks, its fantastic towns and villages, and so much more. The Bathurst region has over 15 primary schools and 7 high schools. The town is home to Charles Sturt University's main campus, a large TAFE campus, and in this town, the medical students from Western Sydney University get to do their 1-year clinical placement at Bathurst Hospital. The University of Notre Dame is also situated in Lithgow, another iconic town on your way from Sydney. In Bathurst, there are fantastic restaurants, excellent pubs, a brewery, and great cafes. Retail and boutique industries are thriving, and there is a constant need for tradesmen as Bathurst is ever expanding. Healthcare and social assistance are the biggest employers of Bathurst's large workforce, thanks largely to its modern hospital and additional services. Many healthcare workers move to Bathurst annually, and twice a year, the local council organises a public welcome for new arrivals. The Bathurst Health Service offers clinical placement opportunities for students from 3 universities, including Charles Sturt University, University of Sydney and Western Sydney University. The proximity to metropolitan areas, relaxed lifestyle, career prospects, family-friendly atmosphere, low cost of living and better work-life balance make Bathurst very appealing for those looking for a change. We've been speaking to staff at Bathurst Base Hospital who are going to share with you what life is like in Bathurst for healthcare professionals.
Hello, welcome to Bathurst Cancer Care Services, affectionately known as Daffodil Cottage. And it is a very unique place to work. The reason it's unique is that we strive to have a really open, friendly, non-clinical environment for patients and their families to come to. Obviously, the treatment areas are clinical and adhere to all the standards of care, but otherwise, we try and make it very, very welcoming to everybody. We have the most beautiful garden. The patients, family members, staff and other staff throughout the hospital can come down and enjoy. We have a really open, light, airy building, so there's lots of windows, lots of natural light coming in, which is a huge benefit to not only the patients but also to staff wellbeing. We are well supported by the main hospital, especially if we have a clinical review or a rapid response is required. People that work here really enjoy working here due to, one, the environment, and secondly, is we're all here for the one purpose, and that is to actually help out our patients. Cancer is a chronic illness, so therefore we actually get to know the patients really well. We get to feel as though we're part of their family, and they actually feel very comfortable talking to us. That is one of the reasons what actually gives me great job satisfaction is knowing that we are helping people of the Bathurst community when they are diagnosed with cancer, and we can provide many, many services for them. Daffodil Cottage is a great place to work in, and we're very well supported with our staff and their standard of care. We have cancer care coordinator, we have a McGrath breast care nurse, prostate cancer specialist nurse, haematology specialist nurse, we've got haematologists, medical oncologists, and we have an on-site medical oncologist as well. We have highly qualified treating nurses, and we have oncology pharmacist, oncology dietitian, lymphedema therapist, an amazing administration team, and we're also extremely well supported with volunteers and the community. The community is very invested in Daffodil Cottage, and they, in fact, who built it originally back in 1996. The reasons that I love living in Bathurst and I actually really like coming to work is that community feel. I've lived in Bathurst for over 30 years. I've raised a family here, and it's a great community feel. There are sporting groups, interest groups, there's hikes that are close by if you're into bushwalks and the outdoor life. You've got the river, you've got the dams for water skiing, you've got vineyards around. There is a lot to offer in Bathurst.
Hi, I'm Ali and I'm the nursing unit manager here on the Bathurst Medical Ward.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm the acting educator here as well.
So today we're going to talk to you about a few reasons why we love working here and we love living in Bathurst. I moved from Sydney 4 years ago and I would honestly never move back to Sydney now. I love the open green spaces out here. I love how there's always some amazing events happening in the town, like the Winter Festival in July. And I love the community spirit in Bathurst. I feel you can always walk around, you can always walk down the road and someone will always smile at you and say hello. So we work on the medical ward and it's a 32-bedded ward. It's a crazy place, but it's a brilliant place to work. We have all the general medicine specialties down here on the ward. We have a stroke unit and we have cardiac patients on telemetry monitoring. I guess one of my favourite things about the ward is that we work so well in a cohesive team. We have a large multidisciplinary team and I really feel that our care is really tailored holistically to the patient. We have lots of meetings where we do integrated rounds with patients and where we do bedside rounding with our allied health, and I love that because I really feel like that the person is in the centre of their care when we do that. What about you, Josh? What do you love about working here at Bathurst?
Oh, as Ali said, we've got fantastic facilities here, but I think what's kept me coming back to Bathurst is the culture and the work environment. I feel very supported with my colleagues and there's always new people coming in and out of the facility. It's just a great place to learn.
Yeah, definitely. I think the culture here is lovely. There's no one that you would ask for help and they would say no to you. We have such a cohesive team down here and our nurses also have a lot of fun down here, so it's a really fun environment to work in as well. Yeah, and I think one of the major things from Metropolitan Hospital is that you may have a solely dedicated respiratory ward, for example, but here on the Gen Med ward, all of our nurses are very skilled over the variety of Gen Med specialties, whether that be cardiac or stroke, endocrine, neurology. We see it all down here, so the nurses do need to have quite a broad range of their expertise of skills, which is fabulous for their career progression as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Umesh Shah. I'm the Director of Intensive Care Unit here in Bathurst. After my training for almost 6-7 years working in a metropolitan city, Sydney plus a couple of years in Adelaide, I got a chance to work as a Director of Intensive Care Unit here in Bathurst. I had visited Bathurst before. It's such a lovely town. And I feel there are a lot of advantages of working in a regional area where first and foremost you have a very lovely work-life balance. There is not much of traveling time involved. You leave the hospital and 5 minutes later you are at home. Second thing, it's such a close-knit community. You see your nurses in the hospital, then you see them outside at the shopping place, you see them in cafe. So I think working in a small area is a more advantage, as in the life is very settled and peaceful. You do the same stuff you do in ICU here, what you do in ICU in any bigger city, except we are resource limited. But if we get patients who require complex treatment, we shift them out. But working in a regional area, working in a rural area, I think you get more challenges, and then facing those challenges, I think improves your quality. The things I like about Bathurst is it's a very lovely area surrounded by mountains. Bathurst has a lot of things to offer, excellent cafes, a lot of places to visit around, a lot of greenery. And I think though it is 2 hours away from Sydney, it's actually a regional living. Like, just to give an example, I live in my house, in my backyard. I can see kangaroos running around, I can see horses because there's a horse paddock next to my house, and at the same time you get all the modern amenities you can think of. So overall you earn same amount of money, but you have a lot of peace in your life. I can look after myself and my family, give them more time and do the same work. That is what I think about living in Bathurst. And if possible, I'll probably spend my whole life living here in Bathurst.
My name's Phoebe. I'm one of the ICU Registrars working at Bathurst. I am working here essentially as a rotation from Sydney. I live and work in Sydney usually. Working in Bathurst is really lovely. The people here are really nice. The medicine is really rewarding and quite interesting and diverse. The town of Bathurst as well is it's beautiful, particularly this time of year. It's autumn at the moment. And the colours are changing and it's just beautiful. Everyone around is just really lovely and friendly, and it's just a really nice place to work. So working in the ICU in Bathurst, it's quite different to working when I've worked previously in tertiary ICUs. It's much smaller. The relationships with the nursing staff and the doctors are all really fantastic. Everyone here is really lovely and it's a really nice team environment. I think when I came to Bathurst, I was a bit worried that the work wouldn't be as interesting or the patients wouldn't be as sort of diverse and unwell, but I think that's really not been the case at all. We get really a wide range of presentations and we can really do a lot here, and it's not that dissimilar to all of the things we can do and all the resources we have access to at a tertiary hospital, which is pretty cool.
Hello, how are you going? My name's Catherine Poskic. I'm the nurse unit manager of the surgical ward here in Bathurst. It's such a rewarding career, nursing. I've been nursing now for 30 years. I was in Sydney at a few of the major metro hospitals and then came back out here. There's so many opportunities that you've actually got in Western New South Wales. Bathurst, and that where we're located, we do have lots of opportunities in that for medical, nursing, allied health. It's a really, really diverse area that we work in. No 2 days are actually ever the same. I started off, as I said, 30 years ago and worked my way through from being a junior RN, did lots of postgraduate studies. I've got 2 postgraduate masters and I've got a postgraduate certificate in immunisation and also another postgraduate certificate in orthopaedic nursing, which some are supported as well by New South Wales Health, so there is certainly educational opportunities for you. It is a really, really great area that we can work in, that we get to interact with so many different people from so many different walks of life, and I always find it's a really, really rewarding career. So if you're thinking about doing it, no matter what area you want to get into, I would say go for it. So living in Bathurst, we're very close to Sydney, 2.5 hours, 3 hours or so into the city. We've got excellent train services, and if you needed to, there's 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, so there's certainly ways that you can go down to Sydney, have lunch, come back, still reap the benefits in that of actually working in a rural and living in a rural area, but still close access to things if you wanted to do anything in Sydney. Cost of living and that the pressures and that certainly are here, certainly not as bad as they would be in Sydney. There's lots of gyms, there's lots of educations, there's lots of parks, there's so many things to do. I'm one of those people that's a runner, so there's park run, I run marathons, so there's certainly areas that you can do here. Lots of things that you can get involved in. There's some excellent restaurants. We have quite a lot of museums as well. We've got a T-Rex skeleton here as well. It's one of the only ones in the Southern Hemisphere, so it's a very diverse area and that we live and work on. And yeah, there's certainly something for everyone, and The shopping, the food, everything is just amazing. There's some great education areas as well. So we've got lots of other schools, we've got a university here. There's lots of things that's available for people. Anyway, highly recommend coming out to this area. You won't regret it.
Hi everyone, my name's Jess. I'm a midwife at Bathurst.
And I'm Kat, and I'm a registered midwife as well. I've been here for about 10 months now.
I've been here for, I think, about 9 years, I think, total. I really love working in Bathurst. I've seen quite a few staff come through over the 10 years, but we're a relatively smaller team. Being rural, we do kind of work in all areas of maternity. So in Bathurst, you get the experience of working in the special care nursery, but we do postnatal, antenatal in the clinic, and we do birthing as well. So if you want to come to Bathurst and get a great experience doing all different parts of midwifery, Bathurst is a good spot for that.
Yeah, I think being here for 10 months so far, I've found that you get real autonomy here, with your midwifery skills. I think it's quite midwifery led. Like you do have your doctors here, but most of the women are low risk, and anything high risk sort of goes elsewhere. I find the teamwork here is really fantastic. It is a smaller team, and you all get to know each other and what's going on. Great sort of community as well.
Yeah, and I think we form great friendships with everyone we work with as well. Most of us are pretty young, have kids, all similar ages as well, so that's a great little connection. And I think it's really flexible here. Like, you know, with the kids, we can try to work around kids and events and things like that. And
doing shift work and everything. Boss is pretty good at working around children and care and things like that.
Yeah, like the majority of our women are spontaneous labourers who come in, and us as midwives look after them mainly. Like our doctors are on call, but I think we do get a really great experience of a little bit of high risk and that middle range, and then a lot of low risk women as well with that spontaneous labour. So it's good to have all that.
It is, and it's great that you get to do everything. You do antenatal care, outpatients, you do postnatal care, breastfeeding, and admitting babies to the nursery, respiratory distress, things like that, and doing your birthing as well. So you get a whole range of experience, which is great, and you don't lose those skills just working in one area. You get to do it all.
Yeah, every day is kind of different. You don't know where you know, sometimes you're on postnatal one day and birthing the next, or on some days you're doing absolutely all of those. We don't have birthing baths or birthing pools at the moment, but I think we're aiming to get that. We're having a big redevelopment of our maternity unit soon, or in a few years. So we will have a fresh new maternity in a couple of years, which will be that'll be nice.
Bit more modern, nice big birthing pools, be able to do water births and things like that, which is exciting. New things to come. So living in Bathurst, I live half an hour away and I come into Bathurst to work. There's a lot to offer here. It's a very kid-friendly town, very family-centred, that country vibe. Only 45 minutes down the road, you've got Orange as well that has wineries and places to eat, but there's plenty here to do in Bathurst as well. Lots of sporting, rugby, netball, hockey.
All my kids play sport of a weekend mainly. We go to the parks a lot. They do offer some really good kids parks, like good playgrounds and stuff like that. The nightlife's pretty good. Not that I'm into the nightlife anymore. We're kind of busy with kids, but we've got heaps of pubs and playgrounds and like I think sport's really big in Bathurst too. Like kids sport, like with school. We have some wonderful schools. Like I live in a little village just outside of Bathurst. It takes me about 15-20 minutes to come into Bathurst. Traffic is beautiful compared to
nothing.
Sydney and places like that, but traffic's not much you have to deal with. It's quite a nice country vibe in Bathurst.
So cost of living out here is quite a bit different to living in your metro Sydney areas and whatnot. I recently bought a house about 2 years ago. Much cheaper out here than trying to buy something in Sydney in a tiny little apartment.
And often you get bigger land as well with the house, or you've got that option of living a little bit out of town and having a couple of acres if you want, like a nice big garden or places for kids to run around, in-ground pool. things like that. So Bathurst, you can live in the city, but you can kind of pick and choose in Bathurst, which is nice, you know.
And plenty of daycare centres to get your children into. I know that's a hard one.
A big thing, that is hard.
In city places, but
Childcare.
generally pretty good out here, childcare and schooling.
Yeah.